Hello, I'm Cary, and I'm experiencing a really significant challenge in being able to articulate something incredibly simple. But I would love to share with you why I created HeartAscent. HeartAscent is a group sharing format, which I feel is a quantum leap from many mainstream group sharing meetings happening all over the world right now. And my experience is that I wanted to create a place, a space of like-minded people who have the intention, the conscious intention to expand and evolve our awareness of our consciousness, our awareness of our thought life and our emotional life, and how those things are actually creating what's happening in the outside in our lives. And in a group sharing meeting, it's really powerful how you can experience like a mirror. Sometimes you hear people speaking and they don't even know you, but somehow they're saying things that so perfectly apply to what's happening in your life. You kind of feel like there's a higher consciousness or a higher power that's coming through and starting to shine light on what we're experiencing. And this is my experience. And really at the core of it, at the gut level of it, is that I feel that each and every person is actually created and sustained out of, and I hesitate to use this word love because there's so many connotations around it, but I really feel like we're made out of infinite love, each one of us. And that when we come into a room, and our intention is to be as sincere and honest as we possibly can and share what we're experiencing, what's inspiring us today, what's inspiring deep appreciation and gratitude for this journey of life, and also the vulnerability to come and share what's really challenging us. What are the things that we feel we can't or we don't have, let's say, the nerve to really open up and share? What are the things that are really, really deeply challenging us? And when we come into a group of people like HeartAscent, and we feel this safety that everybody there is interested in each one of us healing, being transformed, being empowered, and being inspired. And that's basically the reason why I wanted to share it. I feel like the best, most effective way to share what HeartAscent is just to simply read the HeartAscent meeting guide. And it's only 2 pages and 4 paragraphs or so, but it tells specifically and exactly what we do in these meetings and how it can benefit you. So I'll share the meeting format with you. HeartAscent meeting guide. What is HeartAscent? HeartAscent is a fellowship of people inclusive of all religious, philosophical, or political associations who desire to increase our conscious awareness. Through this growing awareness and our group sharing, we resolve challenges and uplift each other. HeartAscent intent. Consciously aligning our thoughts, emotions, and actions with our heart, we are honest and focused. Our emotional and perceptual patterns come to light, and we experience a more balanced approach toward ourselves and others. We accept all people and circumstances as gifts to help us grow and evolve. The HeartAscent meeting format. Each meeting has a chosen inspirator that keeps the meeting operating on time and within the meeting guidelines. Meeting order. 1, reading the HeartAscent meeting guide. 2, silence for 3 minutes. 3, participants share uninterrupted for 3 to 5 minutes each, depending on how many people are in the meeting. 4, the workbench. Participants may express any challenges for constructive feedback or any further inspiration. 5, conclusion. we share our intention with our co-participants regarding the workbench experience, including how we will be accountable to ourselves and what actions we will take, if any. So I would just like to share my background experience that inspired me to do this. So you can get a sense of, this isn't just like a superficial or whimsical effort to just come along and create, a group sharing meeting that is trendy or something that's of value right now. But this is really originates from 40 years, more than 40 years of momentum of my own personal journey, my conscious effort to dive deep into consciousness through meditation, through group sharing, and through experiencing what we call service, because we're coming from our heart and we're trying to manifest excellence in the outer world. So let me just share some of the key things that happened in my life that led me to this. And one of them was in my late teens and early 20s. I experienced kind of a burnout in the outer world. I had a couple of really, let's say, passionate love affairs with women who I really, really loved very deeply, but somehow just didn't go where I anticipated they would go. And I also was experiencing a thirst inside, a really, really deep longing to find out, what is the purpose of my existence? Where did I come from? And what am I here to experience in this lifetime? And it was really like a yearning to know the source of this creation, the source of what created me. And during that time, my father passed away when I was 18. I wanted to just really find an anchor inside. I wanted to reach my own source of clarity inside my own self. And I met this spiritual teacher who was revealing these very simple but profound forms of focus, which I was not aware at the time had been passed down for thousands of years, going back at least 5,000 years. And when I learned how to practice these forms of focus, I experienced something extremely powerful inside. I really could see for the first time in my life how my mind, my thought maker, was kind of in a momentum that I didn't seem to have any control over. And I thought it was so bizarre that there's something inside of me that I myself can't even control. The more I started to practice meditation, the more the thought maker started to calm down, and the more I could come inside and just focus. For example, on one of the forms of focus is the breath. I would venture to say that most people are not aware that the impact of focusing on the breath, not just whimsical, like shallow, just watching it come and go, but really reaching a place of calm, quiet stillness and allowing yourself to observe exactly when it comes in and exactly when it goes back out. To actually observe it has its own rhythm. And when I allow myself to just be in that simple observation of that rhythm of the breath coming in and out, most people aren't aware that conscious awareness of the energy that's causing us to breathe is connection to a source of consciousness and knowledge that is responsible for this entire creation. That there's actually knowledge, energetic knowledge that comes from focusing on the breath. And it brings me such a balance in my life. It allows me to see that my mind's trying to trick me into drama. It allows me to see that my mind's trying to say things and do things to get me out of a simple balance. to distract me from observing what's actually happening in each moment. And so that experience of meditation was so powerful to me. I wanted to dedicate my whole life to it. So I moved into an ashram for 10 years. And sometimes I focused 4 hours a day on meditation. And it was so sweet. It was so powerful. It wasn't like fanaticism or extremism or anything like that. It was just enjoying the peace, enjoying the simple exhilaration of being in touch with something inside that was blessing me. It wasn't confusing me. It was filling me up to overflowing with such a simple inspiration. And that experience had such a momentum for me. When I moved out of the ashram, I guess I didn't know, okay, but maybe there was some spiritual arrogance in the sense that I thought through all that momentum, all that effort from 10 years of dedicating my life to this experience, that momentum would carry me into this new life that I was now going to create. And I was caught by surprise because even though spiritually I felt like I was in the jet stream, there was some emotional trauma that I never really resolved, that I didn't even really know that was bothering me. But long story short, I had this one experience that was really traumatic for me. And it was because I felt like I met my soulmate, and I felt a perfect feeling, a perfect experience. And somehow that experience didn't evolve in any way that I thought it would. And it actually, in my own mind, it felt like a crash landing, like it just didn't work out. But the pain, the emotional pain I was experiencing, I didn't know how to deal with it. And so the quickest and easiest thing that was in front of me was alcohol. I was drinking to try to cover up my emotional pain. And the problem with that is a lot of people experience is that the drinking itself can get out of control. Not for everybody, but for me, it got out of control. And the toxicity caused a lot of wreckage in my life. But anyway, after about 6 years or so, I was very fortunate to make it into AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And because of all my momentum practicing meditation and trying to live a spiritual life, I could really grasp the basic principles of what they were talking about. And as a matter of fact, they were saying that a spiritual grounding and solution and anchor in a person's life is actually the solution to stop drinking. And but the key thing is that when a person's down and out, confused, hits the bottom, experiencing depression, anxiety, demoralization, that's where I was. I hit really a pretty bad bottom there, kind of feeling hopeless and not knowing, just forgetting about how powerful it is to have this internal anchor, to be practicing meditation and to go into a group of people and to share my challenges. That was really something. I got up there and I said, you know what, you guys, I need help and I don't know how to deal with this obsessive drinking. And there was this outpouring of love. It was really incredible to know that it's okay. It's okay to be heartbroken and not know how to deal with the pain and reach out and ask people for help. And that's what I did. And I could see other people in those rooms. They had all kinds of really, really horrible challenges in their lives. grew up in broken families, grew up without any parents, with one parent and all this stuff. And I could feel like, I'm not the only one who's been, shattered inside. I'm not the only person who's having this kind of pain. But at least in this particular group, at least in AA, sharing that pain is honored. It's actually supported, and it helps us release, it helps us release, it helps us expand and grow out of it. But here's the thing that is so vitally important that I want to share, is that I sincerely honor and respect the AA program. I know where it came from, and I know that it is aimed at people who are going to kill themselves if they don't stop drinking. I understand that. And so in that light, it has saved millions of people. But here's the thing. They keep saying things in the rooms that do not lead to an expansion. And there's certain repetitious things that happen in those rooms that actually create an energetic, a kind of a stagnation. And it's very serious. To me, it's very serious, because us human beings are designed to grow and evolve. And so we cannot keep speaking things that go against our own expansion and resolution of the very things that are challenging us. And so I really had to come to my own honesty inside myself and say, I can't keep subjecting myself into these rooms where there's that limitation going on, even though those rooms are extremely powerful. And I will never say anything negative about the program. I will point out, though, that there is something about speaking words that go against a person's own personal expansion and evolution. So my thought is this, is that with HeartAscent, it's free from any connection to any particular, obsessive thinking or behavior. It's not connected to, let's say, all the 300 different abusive behaviors that people get into just trying to deal with their emotional pain or anxiety or depression. And so HeartAscent is a space, it's an environment where we can share any of those challenges with the specific intention to be empowered, to be armed with new information, new insights, new understanding, new ways of dealing with our challenges, and to be in an environment that we know we can count on, because we ourselves are intending to come into this environment of inspiration. We can be inspired even by the hard things. And that's my goal for creating HeartAscent.